Nigeria has been ranked 103rd for mobile and 146th for fixed broadband on monthly speed test global index, behind Cameroon, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Liberia. So with the new normal, having businesses and even socials very active online, internet speed certainly has a great impact on the economy, investment, and every aspect of life. Now we have our Tomi Balogun, a certified financial education instructor and founder of the Green Investment Club. She talks to us on the tech investment and related issues. Hello, Tomi. Great to have you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. So, Nigeria is lagging behind Cameroon with 16 percentage points, ranked 87 in the world. And Cameroon has the fourth fastest internet speed in Africa, behind South Africa. What is Nigeria doing wrong here?
Well, I think that infrastructure issues affect the speed because really, for you to get the best speed in internet, you need a lot of broadband and fiber laid, right? So in terms of infrastructure, it seems to be lagging behind in terms of, compared to the rest of the world. And one of the things we will probably need is like a nationwide project to lay more fibers so that we can increase the speed and the quality of the internet we have around the country, in not just in Lagos State, but across the country as well. Because what you find is there's a lot of concentration in some major states in Nigeria. But if you look across Nigeria, that's not the case. And even in the states where you have the concentration of a lot of internet providers, you still find that, like you said, speed is lagging because there's not, I mean, the best internet connections come from fiber when it is laid, right? So we need a lot more in terms of infrastructure, spend to ensure that internet speed and quality can also improve over time.
So, assuming this is done, what opportunities are inherent in the sector for employment and especially for youth?
Absolutely. Nigeria is a major and a powerful country with a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a very powerful entrepreneurial climate. I mean, if you look at the past few years, we've produced major giants like Jumia, like IntoSwitch, Andela, Flutterwave, Paystack. Those are entrepreneurial companies that have grown and definitely based on the use of the internet infrastructure that has developed in Nigeria. In terms of attraction of investment as well, Nigeria is like a major hub and was the leader in Africa for the highest number of investments in startups in 2018/2019. So there's huge potential because even with slow internet speed not being as fast or not the fastest in Africa, you can still see that Nigeria is very entrepreneurial. Our digital ecosystem is growing remarkably across multiple sectors like the fintech sector, health tech sector, and so many other things. E-commerce is also growing. A lot of business are going online. 2020 saw a lot more businesses trading and e-commerce online. So there's huge potential for all of that. So once they get the internet quality speed going, I believe that we will continue to grow as a major digital ecosystem across Africa because we already have the entrepreneurial skills, mindset, and powers to back that.
All right, let's look at the user base. Now, we had 104.4 million internet users in Nigeria in January 2021, and that number increased by 19 million between 2020 and 2021. What impact does this bring to the economy?
Well, in 2020 with the pandemic, we saw a huge increase in terms of online spending, digital payments and online spending. Right, so I would say that a lot more people are beginning to get comfortable because there's also the issue of trust, right? There's this low trust for the digital ecosystem. So, but a lot more people are beginning to trust the system, right? So while you have a lot of people that are internet users, a lot more of them are on social media. But what we want to see now is a transfer of that, use and, in terms of internet numbers to businesses, right, to online systems, to digital ecosystems, to digital payments. 87% of transactions in Nigeria are still done in cash, right? So all of that is probably affecting how the digital ecosystem can grow. So in spite of those numbers, what we still need is strong trust, right, growing in the economy for digital ecosystems.
All right, so it's commonplace to hear that ideas rule the world, and so it's easy to believe that once you have an idea, then you can walk your way to success. But how easy is it for startups in the tech industry?
Not so easy at all. The cost of doing business and the ease of doing business is really high compared to African countries within the same space in West Africa, right? But what we do have is the never, Nigerians don't, we're diehard people. We take on challenges, we take on anything we see that is a challenge, and we take it up, because if you see the businesses that have grown, I mean, Flutterwave is a unicorn. That business grew from Nigeria. That's the potential we have. You see the Paystack story as well, an amazing story acquired by Stripe for $200 million. That is what we see, that in spite of the fact that it is not so easy to set up a system, because the ease of doing business in Nigeria is really low. In terms of the cost of doing business is really high as well. Skills, getting the right labor, and the kind of people that you should add to your team, a major challenge as well. But in spite of that, we see some businesses still thrive. What we need is more investment in the ecosystem from end to end. How do we grow labor and skills, the digital skills required? How do we ensure that the digital payment structure and infrastructure is well laid out and is supported by the regulatory authorities, right? And not squashing innovation. How do we ensure that the disruptive innovation required to help all of these sectors grow is, in place? So yes, it is tough, but what I can say is on the back of that, we see some startups continue to grow and thrive. So there's definitely opportunity. We just need the government, right, to continue to ensure that the ease of doing business gets better. And I'm sure that once that is done and once we start working towards that, it would help. The economy is tough, no doubt. The economic climate is even worse, right? But the opportunities definitely exist. And on another conversation I was having with someone, I said, look at telecommunications industry. When they came into Nigeria, we saw huge growth, right? Employment of labor. They've had their share of issues with regulatory authorities, the risk of doing business in Nigeria, definitely not been so easy for them. The cost of doing business in Nigeria as well is tough. But the potential and the growth they have brought has to be looked at as well. You have to look at both sides of the coin and don't just focus on the fact that it's tough. Yes, it is tough. We want it to get better, but using the telecommunications industry as a case study, we've seen that in spite of all of that, there's still growth. He has brought huge innovation, huge opportunities for Nigeria, and so more industries can grow in spite of that.
All right, Tomi, what about government role in boosting investment in tech? Are they doing enough? And what would it take to have affordable, high-speed internet in the country?
Well, for me, I would like to see more public-private partnerships. I really don't think it's the government's role the government's role is just to ensure the ease of doing business. The government's role is to ensure that, the economy is attractive for investment, because definitely we have the numbers, we have the growth potential. What we do not want is a case of the regulatory authorities sending mixed signals to investors. We do have a lot of investors, looking to come into the Nigerian space and invest, but when the regulatory authorities send mixed signals, you're this today, you're this tomorrow, it really, affects the investor optimism. So what we do want is stability, we want consistency, we want innovation, we want the regulatory authorities to keep up with innovation and not squash innovation, right? The fact that you don't understand something is not a reason to squash it. There's a reason to bring people to the round table, bring them up and have discussions and see how we can make this innovation work for the economy and improve the lifestyle. We do have the highest number of, poverty levels, highest poverty levels in the world, right? So we definitely need this innovation. So for me, the government's role, ensure the ease of doing business, ensure that you're not sending mixed signals in terms of your regulatory guidelines and framework. This will encourage the private sector to, we have a lot of wealthy people in Nigeria that can invest in digital startups, right? We don't just have to look to people in diaspora as well. A lot of Nigerians go and invest abroad. We need them to bring that money back home and invest in the startups that we see potential in.
All right, Tomi, thank you so much for your thoughts on the program this morning. Thank you for joining us on Business Morning. Tomi Balogun is the founder of Green Investment Club. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.